this time. Oh, so we're live. So it's hard to do the intro when it's live.
It's cool. I like it. I like how 85 South does it. They just kind of come in.
It is. And I know Joe Rogan starts his. Anyways, my name is, first of all, my name is Chris Cares None. This is the Cares None Beto podcast. I am your host. And I got my co-host, Eric Fisher. What's up, baby?
What's going on, baby boy? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Sensational.
You good?
I'm chilling.
Are you high?
Yes, very.
Okay.
Chris,
right.
I feel like you're doing great.
Well,
you all, no. That's your fault. You all made me smoke by myself.
I don't, sir. I do not partake in illegal activities.
Y'all forced me.
I don't.
I don't smoke
we
with
might
me.
be wearing the same shirt.
I've never even drank a beer before.
Head ass.
But you doing good?
Swell.
Tom,
I'm good.
How
Man.
you doing, man?
But I want to cut you off because you were like, I'm doing good. I want to hear the story about you getting robbed again. Let the people know. But I'm good. You know, you always feel a little bit better hearing some misfortunate news.
We're going to talk about that. Yeah, I got robbed. Gunpoint.
What?
No. No, sorry. Gunpoint.
Hey, you coming in way high.
Gunpoint, yeah.
I don't know.
I was held hostage for 10 days. No, and we have a special guest today.
Hey.
Marie Francis, how you doing, girl?
Doing great. I'm here. My first podcast. I'm not gonna be too.
Are you
lovely.
What did you think was going to happen? Like, how did you think you were going to feel
with the podcast?
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna have like a panel and we were just gonna argue. I don't know. And so
like
here
a panel?
Yeah, what is this
like
panel you speak of?
I don't know.
They do panels. Like I know what a
never
panel is, but what?
I don't know. I just thought there was gonna be more people than this. I didn't know it was gonna be about me.
No, this is intimate. This is very intimate.
This is a TED
You're the
Talk.
star.
Yeah. You're just
regular
well,
boys.
well, we're all the star because it's about energy, right? Because my star shines real bright. But so this time, and definitely Derek's, and yours does too. To be honest, you fucking glow with like a. Am I lying?
Of course.
Straight glowing.
You just said, of course, that he's lying.
No,
that is
I did. Well, you know what I meant. I'm sorry. Not of course.
Okay.
And still look at you.
But you're glowing. Tom,
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You're glowing too, man.
Thanks.
I like that.
I'm the black star. So like I kind of suck up the light.
He's the fucking cloud. No joking.
But you need it. It's
I think it's phenomenal. I love having Tom on.
Oh yeah, he brings a great.
I specifically wanted to bring you in. One, I just know that you have a very bubbly personality and you're just fun. It's good energy. But two, you know, with Cares None, we did this whole social. We're going with the social anxiety, which is what it was always about, getting over the fear of other people's opinions.
Yeah.
But then I found a direction to take it to social anxiety for whatever different levels. And the reason why I want to get you on is because you model.
Yes.
And some people would have social anxiety about modeling, right?
Right.
So I wanted to ask you, one, about your modeling career, but then two, how do you get over the fear of being judged as a model?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So modeling career, I kept saying this. It's not my career. I don't look at it that way. I do it as a hobby. I wish I could do it full time. I'm 5'2". I don't think
so. You're like too short.
I'm too short to be a model. On top of that, like I'm a single mom, so my schedule isn't very busy. So I can't do this full time. And on top of my full time job, would I want to? Of course. But it's something hopefully in the near future I'll be able to do. But
I feel like you put some energy behind it. I think you kind of blowing smoke a little bit.
Because the great thing is that the photographers that I've been able to work with, they allow me to, to collaborate with them and actually give my opinions on what type of things I want to shoot. So a lot of the stuff that I'm able to do are my ideas, which is great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would say if someone were to look at your socials, they would think, oh, she's a professional.
Well, thank you.
Am I crazy? Have you seen it?
No. Have you seen it?
I did pull it up.
Yeah. So I would imagine you it's always it's almost professional. And then you have a following too. So what are you talking about? You're like trying to underplay it and shit.
I know.
It's okay to be dope as fuck. It's okay to be dope.
You don't see his hat?
But seriously, I want to ask, like, when you put yourself out there, purposefully too. So how do you get over like being judged? Whether or not someone else would be like, oh, I don't like this about her versus somebody who I do like this about her.
So honestly, social media, I really don't follow it that much. So I like posting my things as my portfolio, right? Other than that, like after it's posted, I don't really pay attention to it. That's the way I don't let other people get to me. You know what I mean? Other than that, to be in front of the camera, it's just, I'm a whole different person. I just feel like once
like Sasha Fierce.
Yes, like it's a totally different person. You know, like it's all the energy that's inside of me that I don't show on an everyday basis. So when it goes on, it's just, I don't know, it's something that I overcame.
So the fact that you're willing to put that into the public, what gives you that comfort?
I think
What
because
is it about that? Like that's the
well, I think I grew up being very insecure, right? So,
Mm.
I actually struggled with an eating disorder growing up when I was like 10 years old.
Too much or too little or
Well, so I was the bigger kid in the family. So I grew up with sisters, and I wasn't obese, but I was heavier.
250?
Too big. Not ever that big.
Damn
but-
butterball turkey.
Yeah, not ever that
I
big.
got crazy trying to get to like the number. It's like,
Yeah.
let her tell the story.
315.
No, but I did struggle with bulimia and anorexia. So that came in to my life like on and off till I was like in my late 20s, depending on what stress level I was at and how I wanted to feel. You know, if I felt like I didn't look good in the public, that's what I would do. I'd binge, you know, purge and all that other stuff to the point where like now, you know, I've accepted my body will change at certain times. But when I do these shoots, I make it a goal. So I don't just, if a photographer reaches out to me to set something up, I have to tell them, you know, I have to book this ahead of time to reach a certain goal to look decent on camera, at least for me, you know? So I can't say like, I can just book randomly and be like, okay, I could do this project, do that one. For me, it takes time.
okay.
If that makes sense, you know?
Okay.
So that gets me comfortable to be
Like
in
it
front
takes
of the
time
camera.
mentally?
And physically, because I want to get to a certain
You mean like
weight.
tone up or something?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's what you're
To
saying.
do that.
And
yeah.
that's specific probably to your story as well.
Yes.
Having the, you know,
To deal with all that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm a model as well.
Yes.
And
which I found
but
out
I
today.
right, you just found out from my car. I was like,
I
here's
just want to
my
let everybody know.
I was
Yeah.
like,
I was
I'm a
like,
model
no,
as well.
I was like, here's my
I
PR.
can relate to
Hey,
that.
I'm a model citizen.
Hey, ain't you though, boy?
Dun-dun-dun.
I know, right? That was a good one. But specifically, I'm a figure model.
Okay.
So mine's is pretty boom, boom, boom.
Right.
You know, I'm at the Art Institute one day, DePaul one day, Columbia one day. So it's like I'm kind of just webbing it all up. So it's kind of a different perspective on modeling though. It's
Yeah.
like I don't have to, but it's kind of relative to my story though.
Okay.
Mine is more so like just hustle, kind of just like I want this to be independence, entrepreneurship. Like
Yeah.
I'm out of that kind of wave right now, the full-time job under somebody's wing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like a part of my way. So this version of modeling would make sense for me
Right.
more so. So I get why you would even go that route, like because modeling has a couple different routes. Honestly, you can go. So there's figure, but there's also like what would you say specifically?
What I do?
It's like photography.
Photography.
Photography, right? So there's so many different ways you can do it, but like I'm learning through the figure modeling because I don't really know a lot of people that's in this industry with it. But I'm learning that there's different processes. Agencies sometimes, independent ways sometimes.
Yeah.
Photographers having that connection, but then there's also like institutes and whatnot that you can also go through as well. So there's people who are into doing that. Like I wouldn't necessarily do that side of it.
Okay.
Because I don't, but I like this side of it because it's like more
Right.
so art based.
Oh, okay.
But that follows my kind of mindset.
Well, let me
and
ask you this,
whatnot.
D. When did you decide? Actually, I'm gonna ask you next. But when did you decide to start modeling?
When this lady told me on the street, did I want to model nude?
Was that the
literally-
first time you hit models?
Swear to God, literally, I was coming out of my apartment with my bike.
I was damn near 14.
I was
Wow.
31.
You were 31.
This was last summer.
Yeah. He was a grown ass man.
I was a grown ass man. Like I didn't know what the fuck I was supposed to do. So I'm coming out of my apartment and I'm with my bike and whatnot. And this lady comes down the street with her dog. She's like, "Oh my God, that bike is cool because it's a full bike." And I'm like, "Okay, well, watch me unfold it, do all the tricks and tricks." And she's looking at me, she's checking me out at the same time.
He was like, "Damn, girl."
And she was like, wait. I know this may sound weird, excuse me, but have you ever thought about doing nude modeling? Just straight
How
like that,
random.
like not
Photographer?
modeling, nude modeling. And I was just like, go on. But no, it happened to be, it was art modeling. So it was
okay.
figure modeling, a place that's literally 15 steps away from me. That I've been living in my place for 7 years.
Wait a second.
I
And
didn't
you had
even
no
know what the hell
idea.
they did. They got a little nude statue outside like this. And
Never
shit,
even noticed.
called the
about it.
Paladin Chisel. So they hired me my first time, and it was a full nude, just there, and I felt like I was on a goddamn throne. People just painting me, classic music in the background. So it was just.
But
it was
hold on.
just-
But see, so based on the purpose of this podcast,
For sure.
I want to ask. A lot of people would have a very tough time saying yes to nude modeling,
Mhm.
Right.
right? So I would argue the majority of human beings, and I think you like studied a little bit of why that is with the be aware and everything, right?
Yeah.
I think you like studied like why we wear clothes and shit like that. But anyways, what have you always been that? Because that takes to me extreme confidence.
It does.
Yeah.
And do you ever feel like you have to look a certain way? Like, you know how hard you are on your body? No.
Nah, it kind of, when you start modeling in the way that I model, because it's like, it's about holding your position
Right.
a lot more time. That's a big difference too, you know. So it's like you're performing. You're not really, like, your body doesn't become your concern anymore. It becomes
No, I
the
can see that.
concentration,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And that it becomes like a mental
But you had
type
to
of
get.
thing.
So, but my point is, some people couldn't even get to that because they're so focused on the fact that they're naked.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
Right.
means like you got to a
Got
place in
over
your
that part.
mind where like you've accepted who you are like 100%.
Right.
And I feel like, to me, I can't think of a more confident
Yeah.
situation unless there's ways to look at it
I
differently.
don't know. I guess the way I look at it is just beautiful to me. And when you can really see people painting your likeness and shit, and you can just document that in a beautiful way, I
Yeah.
think that's more beautiful than any
See,
type
but
of
what I'd be thinking
discomforts
is,
that I have on my body.
Wait,
And I
hold
do
on,
have
D.
things that I don't like about my body too, still, you know.
and you had to say you had to get over that in the beginning too.
But it's so cool because it's like the constant, when you're naked and people are really artistic about what they're doing with you, like it's not a judgment. Like, they're literally just doing
they're just
art.
drawing the exact art.
Yeah, exactly.
See,
So
I
it's
think people are looking at it like my first thought would
like
be,
you both. It's a teamwork type of thing.
my first thought would be, all right, I'm sitting here and I'm on soft.
I don't even think about my dick. I've never even thought about it. It's crazy how much I don't think about my
People would be
dick.
thinking that, like, my shit out here,
I'm out here.
and my little man just looking real tired, real fucked up.
No, it is crazy sometimes when you get a little thought process about a little something you done did, and then it's like, oh shit, wait, he growing a little.
Oh, do they make you stop?
Well, first of all, you can't be on full hard. That's just pervert shit. You gotta at least
That's
control
some
that
pervert
shit.
shit.
That'd be
Like,
great.
you can't be on full hard. Like, that's just
I'm gonna be on
disrespectful.
full hard.
You could be on love. You can get a thought, but you can't be on just.
First of all, how long would they take?
I'm sorry.
How long does a session?
Does a
Oh,
session.
3 hours typically. I
So
do
you have
just
to
take
hold
it
that
that-
pose for 3 hours.
25-minute increments.
Oh, okay, I was gonna
typically.
say, yeah.
And then sometimes there's quick. Like today, I had it set up with like 15 1-minute poses, 10 2-minute poses. Then we went all the way up to 25,
Okay.
and that was in a 3-hour session.
See, but I feel it's the same concept where
Exactly.
when I'm actually getting photographed, you totally forget about what's going on. You're in the moment. You know what I mean? You're ready to make just something beautiful. And I look back at my pictures, I'm like, damn, is that me?
Yeah,
Like,
you
know,
see
like-
somebody do something, you're like,
Yeah,
that
That's
was-
me. I did
whoa.
that. And
Yeah,
that's
it's
it's a great
crazy.
feeling.
So I think maybe the beauty. I think we lean into the beauty of it as a release.
Yes.
Do you feel like it's something I'm probably gonna get deeper with this, but as a model, I gotta ask you.
Yeah.
Because this is you.
I'm a
building
model too, nigga.
Right, do your shit.
I'm
nigga, do
model
your shit.
citizen. I
I'm
tell
sorry,
you,
right? I told you.
motherfucker.
So, but really though, when you say you're creating your portfolio, do you feel intrinsically that you're like that you're documenting your history? to,
Yeah.
like yourself,
yeah.
like this is something that's even grander, like to document yourself in a beautiful fashion,
Definitely.
like
yeah.
to get the opportunity to express that's a really important thing.
Yes.
Does that trump maybe those feelings?
It does. It does. When I look back at my portfolio, I can see the stages that I were, that I was at and what I was thinking and the ideas that I had at that time and how I was feeling. So, certain poses might be related to whatever I'm going on in my life, or the concept. So it's just a great feeling to look at.
Now,
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
So
So I've done maybe like 4 or 5 photo shoots to this point now, right?
Yeah.
And I'm dead serious.
Everyone's like slowly working the way up. Like, listen, I've done a little
No,
modeling too. I haven't done a real shoot, but
I've done
Tom,
some modeling
I
in my
took
life.
photos this
When I was
weekend
10
too,
in
everybody. I mean,
No, listen. But my point is that you guys can get to a point where it's purely art.
Yes.
Whereas this is why Cares None's so vicious for me specifically. Because even when I was doing those first few shoots, I was still like
Uncomfortable.
uncomfortable
Yeah.
because I thought, like most people think, is that everyone's looking at you. But
Mhm.
then what they proved, but by the spotlight effect,
Mhm.
and they did a study at Cornell, they proved that the amount of people that are actually thinking about you is extremely lower compared to the amount of people you think are thinking about you.
Yeah. And that goes with social media too. And just anybody's opinion, right?
And on the positive end too. So say you're like, oh, I got a Corvette, I'm gonna pull up.
Yeah.
Not as many people notice your Corvette as you think do.
Right.
And they proved this with studies that you always think people look at, and it makes sense why you would have this spotlight effect, because every time since your first memory, you've been the center of your universe, your life.
Right.
So naturally, everything is going to kind of gravitate towards you because you are the star player in your life movie.
Right.
So that's why there's this spotlight effect. And then also, you know more about the anthropological, is that how you say it?
Yep. You showed it.
There you go. There was also other reasons. There's studies that say that the reason why people are weird to go outside of the norm and be a standout is because if that happened to you back in the day and you were ostracized out of the group,
Right.
you wouldn't survive. So then we all had to kind of teach ourselves to stay within, so then we could stay together as people, and that's how we would have the biggest chance of like
Survival. Yeah.
So
how do you feel now when you are doing these shoots?
So the first like 4, I did it because I have the courage wherever the balls, but I was feeling weird the whole time. Even we were doing the wing reviews.
Really?
In the beginning, I even said it. I just felt like like people looking, and it was never bad, but I just had this feeling.
Yeah.
Once I learned about the spotlight effect, instantly. Because I'm like, oh, okay. So every time I'm in a situation where that feeling comes up, I'm like, oh, spotlight effect. They're not looking as much as you think they are.
Right.
Because those feelings still come up.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I got a couple of viral videos going out of me doing it live or on video of me putting myself in situations that feeling would come up and then doing it and then literally the whole time I'm telling myself, no one's thinking as much as you think they're thinking.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, no.
I think everyone's looking at me because I'm putting myself in this kind of awkward situation, but they really don't. And then the next thing I'm trying to prove with that, even if they do, you leave the situation and then nothing has changed.
Right. It's just for that 1 second.
That
right?
1 second.
Yeah.
But literally, like, you don't get hurt. You don't lose your job. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You don't get sick. You literally, it's just, and then let's just say that person, so let's just say at the very worst case scenario, somebody sees you looking ridiculous or whatever, in their opinion, and they go home and they stew on it. Like, oh man, 4 hours later, there was this weirdo at the gas station wearing this wig. He's such a weirdo, and my life is over. Why do we give that human being any energy?
Right. Over
Like,
time,
why do we care about? Because do you even care about that kind of person who would be like that?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, and I think about this now. So now I go in situations so much more like the most me I've ever been. Even if there's mustard on my shirt, what the fuck? What's going to happen?
Right. Yeah, you should be yourself.
And
I feel a lot of people have a difficult time with that.
That's what I'm saying. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do with Cares None. 1, for myself, and it's working, but 2, to help other people.
Right.
But as a model, you guys have to feel that. Have you ever felt that? Did you have to overcome that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I think the first few shoots, and I did it right after my competition, my last competition I did, because I did bodybuilding. I was a bikini competitor, so I was already in TikTok shape, So to get in front of the camera for the first time and like do these poses, I had no idea what I was doing. It felt a little uncomfortable. And I'm like, what are people going to think? Especially if I post these online. And I wasn't on Instagram at that time, So once people started, seeing the pictures and I get good reviews, it kind of gave me the confidence to just keep going in front of the camera.
Right.
So in the
What
beginning,
about like more so in person?
in person, it was uncomfortable. Yeah.
There's like when you taking pictures and then if there's, let's say, more outside.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, a
So
lot
you
of my
still
photos.
feel that.
Not anymore. No,
It goes away now.
It goes away now because I'm more comfortable with my body. But of course, I still make it the goal to look good for the photo shoot, right?
So you go into it knowing you crushed it.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So you wouldn't go into a situation. What if you didn't feel good and you weren't ready? You will not say yes.
I will not do it. No.
If Variety magazine today says, or whenever you weren't and you need a little time, are you going to say no to that opportunity?
No, I'd say yes and really dig down and lose that weight, get tight, whatever.
But you got to do it tomorrow though.
Oh my God, I don't know if I can do that. I honestly would say I don't know if I can do that.
You can't. What do you mean?
But the industry in which she's in, it kind of fits though. That
Right.
kind of
No, and I get it because you want to get the time.
It
I
goes
get
both
it.
ways
Yeah.
with it.
My
Like,
point is, excuse me, getting people to the point where they'd be like, "Yep, I don't give a
could do
fuck
it.
how
I could
vicious
do
it
it,
is.
yeah.
I'm just going to figure it out," which is scary.
It is.
It's
yeah.
super scary, but
I don't think I'd ever be in that position with modeling, at least just
Wearing
yet.
like plastic trash bags around yourself and just hiking around. Basically, that's like what wrestlers have to do and stuff.
wait. You just said that you don't think that you would ever be
No.
asked.
As comfortable to be like to just shoot like the next day. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I have
okay.
that time to
So you
really
do
prep.
believe that
it's
the Variety could potentially ask you one day.
Maybe if they did.
Okay. 'Cause I thought I heard a little I'm like, no, you can.
But it's so
Why not be the
it's so
greatest?
cool though to hear that because it's still modeling, but it's still serving a different industry within the modeling industry. Because
Right.
with mine, I just got a call tonight. Hey, can you work 6 to 9? Can you model for us at the Art Institute? Right.
Yeah.
obviously we're doing a podcast, but it's so quick because they don't really care about the image.
Right.
It's more so about the beauty of the pose, the anatomy, the this, the that. So it's so interesting to hear, the two sides of it.
Yeah.
And so it's like one, she has to be in her mindset of, oh shit, I need time because I know what this is going to be branded towards.
Exactly.
This is billboard shit.
Right.
My shit is going in, galleries and stuff like that. So it's just a different.
So
format.
what tips do y'all got? I'm gonna ask you first. What tips do you have for someone who maybe wants to try modeling, thinks that they could, but then they're like, I don't know, but maybe. What would you say to them?
I would say try it. You only live once.
When she goes, but I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I. So I'm that person right now. I think I can model, but I don't know. You're like, no, you figured out. You got it, but I don't.
I'd say, I was in the same boat. I didn't know what I wanted to do in the beginning and if I could do it. But once that camera came on and I loved doing it, it's something that I just continued to do. You know what I mean? So you figure it out once you try it.
Have you heard negativity?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Do you know how many?
What's the worst shit you've heard?
Oh,
what's the most hurtful shit you heard?
So
on the
my
internet?
stuff. So my Instagram, like I said, I use it as like my portfolio. So not a lot of my private life is on there, but it's all my modeling stuff. So people are like, "Oh, she's such a hoe. Why is she posing like this? Why is she naked?" And I'm like, "I'm not at home taking these naked photos. I'm not like trying to."
I'm a professional. Yeah.
I'm hiring a professional. I'm doing this nicely. Like I'm not there trying to make content to get guys in my DMs. You know what I'm saying? I will get guys in my DMs, but it's not that. Like that's not what I'm using it for. You know what I'm saying? So,
but you're gonna get that. Just wait. Hold on. Hold on. The dude. You might not be. I don't think. How many girls do that for that reason? Do you take pictures for attention?
There's a lot of girls that do that.
So are you saying you don't do the modeling for attention?
I don't do it. Of course, it's gonna get attention.
No, it's not what I asked.
Yeah.
Do you do it for the attention? At a core
principle. No, I can honestly say I don't. I don't do it for attention. I do it for myself.
I think. Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
I think I can piggyback off of
that.
I think we do it for attention.
Deep. Yes,
I think we do it for attention. No.
Me too.
Say you're wrong.
No.
This is telling me I'm wrong.
No. I'm telling you, she's
fucking
wrong. Actually, I'm gonna sauce y'all ass.
Let me destroy your whole life.
As mammals.
It's hot in here.
No, it's the attention of self, though.
Right.
God
yeah.
damn it.
Not for like.
He just flipped it.
No,
down.
let me finish.
I liked it.
No, that is good. Yeah.
No, that's why we can see the beauty, and it's like I can see my fucking self being as beautiful as I can be.
Yes.
With somebody else's like hand at it. It's such a cool.
See,
back
I
and
would
forth.
argue, D, that even deeper than that, if there was no audience to look at it, why would you do it?
We still do it for people too. We want to be remembered.
That's what I'm saying. So
but that's what I was gonna say.
But it's not like if you're saying attention to like get guys. Oh, sorry.
You're good.
Sorry.
Right,
Hello. No, if you're saying attention to like get men or like whatever to want me, that's not what I'm doing it for.
But you definitely like attention.
I want people to see my work.
Right.
Of course. Yeah.
We all have that more. Look, we are gonna die.
But hold on.
We all want to still be remembered.
Who is your target audience?
I don't know.
If you had to pick,
I really
if
don't.
you had to pick a demographic of human being in America, what would you say is the highest that are consuming your content?
Well, I know who's consuming my content because it's men.
Okay,
I'm not stupid. Like I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna be oblivious to that, but I know men are like,
it could be men.
It could no, it is men. I know that. But I want to target, both women and men. I want them to know like you can do this.
That's how you get down?
Yeah. No, not like that. Not like that. But you know what I'm saying.
Turn out, girl.
You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like women should feel empowered too, to want to do this stuff, but it's not to be like, hey.
You don't like to, hey?
No.
I do social media or content create. That's I just said this is the easy way to say it. For the feeling, it's the selfish feeling of I like it when people feel good and it's because of me.
Okay.
If I'm being honest, like
at
the very core level of why I do it, because when I read a comment that is like that makes me feel good. And I think we all inherently do things that make us feel. And I think you'd be dumb not to. You know what I'm saying? Like you'd be dumb not to live your
dopamine ourselves somehow. Shit.
Because then who else is gonna do it?
Yeah, gotta be the chief of it.
You know what I'm saying, Tom?
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? So what the fuck were we talking about?
No, so yeah, definitely you're using it for
For
some type
attention.
of self or attention from others. Yeah.
And what one officially? Why do you create content?
Well, I think everybody does it for attention. Like I don't have any sort of following. I don't like post anything. But I would, if I didn't have to make a goddamn living, I would not post a goddamn thing on LinkedIn. I probably wouldn't have. I mean, I might have a Facebook to keep in touch with friends and family, but like, I feel like, you know, wanting to get attention from your stuff is like, that's your career to some degree. It's like a way to make money and have influence. And so
Yeah.
everybody, you do this for attention, right?
Yeah.
Modeling,
I
you
think
do it
for
probably for
sure.
some money, but like it also
no, that's
like
fine.
being so beautiful that random people are just like, you should be naked. Feels good, you know? So we all hoe ourselves out in some way.
I believe
I go to
that
Space
an
Bass every
audience is extremely valuable.
Absolutely.
It is. Yeah.
You know, because
I
it's just
mean-
concentrated energy.
Yeah.
And then if we know what we know about energy, we talked about that, but then that could just. So my point is to have an audience is excellent. I think the attention's good. And I think attention is one of the highest things you could get. I mean, imagine you wouldn't do a live stream if you weren't getting attention for it.
That's true. Yeah.
It's such a symbiotic relationship that we probably don't like understand as humans. Like we really we live in our own you know, world and whatnot, but like the spotlight effect, but it's also like we're still very dependent on each other.
We are.
So it's
Yeah.
very symbiotic. And when we can just understand that flow of everything, like with working together and expressing yourself, when you allow other people to help you express yourself,
Mhm.
like we do in our industry, it's like it creates gold. So it's like it's so interesting how we do live in a spotlight effect, but we do like really need each other to become our most beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like if you didn't, that's one anybody who I'm telling you, I didn't make this up. They did a study. This is what they did
Mhm.
at Cornell. I think University or college. I think it's Cornell University.
Boy, you better put some respect on Cornell University, boy.
Yeah, Cornell. My fault. Yeah, Cornell, and it's one of the big dogs, right?
I
This
don't
is,
know.
According to
I'll
Chris,
just
every
nod.
study ever done was done at Cornell. So far.
Yeah, no,
So
no,
that
no.
is okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I know
No,
Harvard.
I legit read this.
I believe.
Yeah, some cats from Cornell.
Mhm.
Just two niggas who was like the janitors. It was like,
But on the
We
campus,
came up
you know,
with-
just
no.
like we did a study.
no, so there's this study, and they came up with this term called the spotlight effect. And how they did
That's
it
funny as fuck.
was they had a
Oh, shit.
group of people, students, go into a classroom.
Yeah.
The teacher that's already in there knows about what's going on, and everyone was supposed to go in that room and start doing work facing the door. So like 32 people facing the door, and then but they purposely told one person to come late. So the other person came late, and the other people are already inside. They say, "Hey, you got to go in there now, but put this weird shirt on." It was like a very embarrassing shirt,
Mhm.
very ridiculous shirt. He's like, "Bet." So then he's like, "Really though?" They're like, "Yeah." So he goes in there. Everyone looks up when he opens the door. All eyes are on him. Then they go back down doing their work, and then the teacher inside's like, "You know what? We're already finished. You can turn it. We're already done. Go back." He goes back, and they ask him, "How many people do you think noticed your shirt?" And on average, like 60% of every single person who they did the study on said
Yeah.
at least half the people noticed. And then when they went back and then asked the people,
Yeah.
it was only closer to 10%.
Yeah.
So it proves that is
Oh yeah. That we
is-
think we're the center
think
of
we're the
attention.
center.
Yeah.
so if you hear that they studied that.
Oh, I
they
can
ain't
see
just some
that.
motherfuckers idea. They did that and it was repetitive. Like it was overwhelmingly that.
Mhm.
So every time you're in a situation where that feeling comes up, you can rest assured if you remember the spotlight effect,
Yeah.
your anxiety should go down at least 40%. You know what I'm saying? It should go down a little bit because you know your feeling is inaccurate based on studies.
Right.
Because you're gonna feel like the whole fucking world's looking at you. But the facts are it's only like 10%.
My big takeaway from this is that your outfit you think is whack might not be as bad
Exactly.
as everyone
Yeah.
thinks. You might still look like a schmuck, but yeah. Now I'll feel different when I walk out with like when I'm wearing this and it's like these blues are kind of similar, you know? Like
And I
maybe,
compliment the shit out
maybe
of
people
you.
don't care that much.
Yeah, but real talk,
And then I
think about
compliment
They
the
that.
shit
don't,
out of
yeah.
you with it. See,
Yeah.
and when I
But-
come with the same shit
But
on.
it works
Hey.
on the other side too. So if you think your shit popping, like, oh man, they don't notice as much as you think they do.
Mhm.
So I think that instantly lowered my anxiety so much,
It evens you out with other people.
man. Because and to the point where I'm making these videos, purposely putting myself in that situation, and I still feel it, but I feel it way less than I did before. Because when the feeling comes up, because they will inevitably, I'm like, spotlight effect.
Well, then the fact that you're also in front of an audience now more, you're doing more often, the anxiety comes down because you're more comfortable with doing that, It's
And
just
that's
practice.
exposure, and that's exposure therapy.
Yeah.
So, and I think you do this with anything. And I've been doing a lot of reading on this exposure therapy shit. And so this is what this is. You purposely put yourself in smaller doses of whatever you most fear. And then you you know how it is. You just got to feel it a little bit. You got to feel it a little bit. But instead of just doing it, because you can fuck yourself up, you go into it, you have to say, what do I feel like right now? What do I think I'm going to feel like when I go through the situation?
Mm-hmm.
You have to break down what all the thoughts are. Go do the thing. And then when you come back, again, how do you feel now? What do you expect to happen going forward? And then you'll notice that there's no discrepancy about what you thought you were going to feel versus what you actually felt.
Yeah.
And the more you do that exposure therapy, you should be getting easier and easier and easier to solve those kind of problems, no matter what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, the exposure. So that's what you do. For the spotlight effect completely made me extremely cares none, like more so than ever before.
Did it like even everyone out for you?
What do you mean?
Did it make everyone's? Because it seems like when having that mindset, it seems like maybe because when you think someone is judging you, you maybe think that they're above you. So did it even everybody out? Like even if you're flossing your shit, really nobody sees you. Even if you think you got some mustard on your shirt, really nobody sees you. So it kind of evens everybody out in your mental.
So there's nobody
there's nobody above you or below you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely don't think there's nobody. And
No. I mean, like,
sure.
does that make you
That's crazy.
Because you said it evens you out.
Chris, I want to say that I'm mentally bullying you extra hard right now too, just for fun.
What do you mean?
Because you're like, oh, nobody's thinking about this stuff about you. I'm thinking extra hard about you. I got to make up for
But then you put yourself out there on purpose. So
stupid hat. No, I'm just kidding.
So, like for instance, the last video I did, I wore a fucking blonde mullet, right? So, and that's extremely. And I walked into the place knowing that you're really going to stand out even more so. But I'm still convinced that because of the spotlight effect, it's not as much as I think.
Right.
And I'm purposely putting myself in these uncomfortable situations. And the more I do that, what the fuck? Because I know one day I'm gonna be speaking in front of like hundreds of people. I've even been asked it once already. So, and I wasn't ready for it because I was like, the
anxiety.
Yeah. And
would that change though? Let's say if there were just a group or a crowd of strangers you don't know versus like the president of the United States or somebody like with a higher social status, would your anxiety with the spotlight effect knowing that change?
I think I haven't been in that situation, but I would assume that I can, because of meditation and being able to get outside of my thoughts sometime and noticing I'm not the one necessarily in control of them. Yes, I think I would be better than I am today to understand, okay, ooh, this is a really big deal. This is big, but the spotlight effect, I think I can definitely go down more. I probably still have that because it's a big fucking moment.
Yeah.
But I think I'm logically can get my brain to say it's still the spotlight. If I don't give a fuck if it's LeBron James and President Obama in the room, it's still the spotlight effect.
Okay.
Based on science. And I would hope that I can get there. I think I could get there more than the average person. But I'd probably still be fucking, it's LeBron James. It's LeBron James, right? So I don't know. What about you? Do you think you can do it?
I honestly don't know. I've never been in that position. So, I mean, strangers, I'm so comfortable just being in front of, just random people. Yeah. But if it's somebody super important, I think I'd have some anxiety, especially because of my laugh. Like that's one thing that embarrasses me. And people
what's wrong with your laugh?
No, it's just funny. I get scared of my laugh when I see it or hear it on my stories. I'm like, oh my God, is that me?
Laugh in,
I mean, my regular. No, my regular laugh is it's a little scary.
It's a little Halloween. You got a little Halloween?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is terrible. It's a terrible laugh.
That's like a witch thing. I don't know.
Somebody said was it a cackle? They're like, you're cackling.
Yeah,
you can hear that
the Blair Witch Project over here.
Yeah, I mean that's me. Like, what am I supposed to do?
You can not laugh.
I know.
Just hold that shit in. Just
like,
oh no, that sounds painful.
Hey, let me ask you something. A little off topic. Would y'all consider going silent for a week?
Why?
Some classic
why would
Chris
I consider
shit,
that?
This is some classic.
Okay.
I'd consider it. I didn't worry.
I'd consider it. I suppose.
Okay. Would you consider being silent for a week? Is it something that
like with everything and yourself and
Sunday to Sunday? You cannot speak a word.
I can't because I talk to myself at home. Like
so you would have to talk to yourself inside.
In my brain, I don't know if I could do that.
I came across this video. Hold on. Could you?
I think I could. I think I
You
think
could.
I could. If,
You've
yeah, if I
never,
didn't have a life.
do you talk out loud to yourself? Like,
Oh
we're
yeah,
my
all the
keys?
time.
Yeah.
I do. I do.
Yeah.
Actually, I sing too much and shit. I probably couldn't.
Yeah.
I don't think you could. No.
Yeah, I don't probably.
You
You know what?
The
No,
stakes were big.
Oh, if the stakes were big. Yeah, I could do
Okay,
it, but
okay.
I just don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm saying could you do it?
I'd like to think so, but it wouldn't work currently with the way my life's
No,
set
yeah,
up.
you would have to like it.
No,
had
it'd have to be like
you'd
take some time off. We ain't
Yeah,
doing
you
shit
couldn't
this
just
week.
do
We
that.
gonna
at
get
work
off.
and shit.
Yeah, I would for like money or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like a challenge with money. Yeah, I would.
Everything
But I
has to
wouldn't-
do with money.
Money,
But I
yeah,
wouldn't
that
like
millions.
just for bragging rights. Be like, I was quiet for a week.
No, so
Goddamn.
I don't think you look
I
at it as
didn't know
bragging.
this
I
guy.
don't think it was like a bragging right situation. But here's what I heard. The dude was like, the discipline it takes to do that would get your discipline game up. You know,
If you're able to stay
if
quiet.
you're able to, yes, it like because then you prove to yourself that you can do some shit that most people haven't or won't even try.
Yeah.
So and it takes a lot to be quiet for me specifically
Yeah.
for like 4 seconds.
Well, you were talking about meditation. Like, I can't even do that. I've tried multiple times and I cannot, like, my brain is just constantly.
I gotta counter
thinking-
that.
What?
Oh, okay.
Okay, go. Tell
Okay.
me.
I gotta put some
Because
Everyone
respect
has
on your
just been
motto's
beating
name.
you up.
Okay.
I feel
No,
bad.
I don't want to.
No,
but I
go
gotta
ahead.
put some respect on your
Yeah.
name. I just want to put respect
Okay.
on it. I feel like that's a meditation of what you do. Like
Mhm.
that's a meditative process. I think meditation is probably different for different people. I think everybody wants it to be kumbaya or putting your thoughts. Actually, everything is putting your thoughts back in place. That's what
Right.
meditation is, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of times when you're modeling, your mind is going different places. You're trying to think about certain things, but really, when you get into a flow state,
Yeah.
like no matter what, that is meditation.
Oh, yeah. For modeling. Okay. But I mean, like, meditation, like to be by myself and like release my thoughts,
Okay.
by yourself.
Okay,
I
I just
can't
wanted to
do
put some
that.
respect
I don't
on
know
it.
how to do that. I've tried multiple
So-
times.
So here's how I always describe meditation. So it is tough, first of all. So
Yeah.
you're not alone. There's a lot. It's hard.
Yeah.
Meditation should be, people think that you're supposed to just stop your thoughts,
Right.
right? I'm supposed to sit here and just think nothing. It's impossible.
Mhm.
You can't do it. The idea of meditation is to learn how to be the observer of the fact that you can't do that. The idea is
I
to
like that.
that changed meditation because I couldn't do it either. I'm like, I can't not think something.
Yeah.
Because you're sitting there and then you're like, they say think about your breathing. So I'm thinking about my breathing, and then you'll have a thought come up. And
Yeah.
then you're like you're talking literally in seconds, and then you kind of come back to your breathing. The idea is to notice that you have to come back to the breathing. The more times that you wander off in thought,
You're
and then
supposed to
come
center
back,
it. Yeah.
it's like a rep when you're
Mhm.
working out. And then the more you do it, the stronger that muscle gets.
Mhm.
So you start off with the way I did it, at least. I started off with like 2 minutes,
Mhm.
like 1 minute, 20, like literally just, can I just do that? And then don't beat yourself up when you can't at first.
Okay. Because I'm always, when I'm in trying to meditate, I'm like, has it been 5 minutes?
Yeah,
Like
right,
in my
right.
mind, I'm like, is this long enough? I don't even know if I cleared my mind,
So I always say this about meditation, and this could be controversial. To me, meditation is one of the highest forms of self-love a person can do. And let me tell you why I believe this is because who else, if you truly love yourself, who else would you rather be with?
Right.
Who's the person who's always had your back? Who's the
Yourself.
person? Is you.
Mhm.
So I'm okay with the thoughts that would come up because I like me.
Mhm.
And I don't care because if I can hang out with my buddy Steve for an hour and a half, and I love Steve, why can't I hang out with myself for an
Myself.
hour and a half?
Yeah.
Because a lot of us are scared of the thoughts that might come up, right? Because that's the scary part. Like, oh, I don't know if I could do that. Just me and my thoughts. But if you know you putting the work in and you know that you desire to be like the dopest version of yourself,
Man,
you got to have those thoughts.
Deep.
so correct. So correct.
Yeah.
So my point is if you meditation, if you can get, that's the highest form of self-love, in my opinion.
So piggybacking off that beautiful point, my whole job is to meditate, right? So I'm doing, let's say I'm gonna have a 25-minute session. I have to hold this pose, right?
Mhm.
My job is to meditate enough to hold this pose. My body has to, I have to do that. But at the same time, I'm with myself. And no matter what, it's kind of crazy because meditation is crazy how it deals with time. No matter what happens, this 25 minutes is not going to speed up.
Right.
It's not going to slow down. So I just got to meditate the shit out of it's like a body meditation.
So what do you do when you're in pain?
you
Man
adjust.
up.
You
Are
adjust, but you adjust in the smallest. It's in the smallest increments. It's a lot of smaller muscles that you start to develop over time
Okay.
that you really don't normally
Like the
use.
love muscle.
Yeah, you get a lot of those extra stroke muscles, bro. I'm telling you.
Whatever you're-
I'm a stroke game.
Have you ever been in
strong.
this state of mind where your mind is just so relaxed that you don't feel the pain? That's
Absolutely.
what I'm saying. Okay.
Absolutely. No, you get there, but you don't want to do it too much. You might be clogging the artery or some shit. But it is a pain. It's funny. It's a pain point type of job. Like you kind of just shifting your body and learning your body in different ways, what causes pain. But I forgot what I was going to
Well,
write.
do some people like that pain?
Yeah, they do.
They do like that pain?
It's a lot of things is about pain. Like I went
Yeah.
to a sex dungeon one time with this young lady.
Just real quick.
Wait.
Before I tell this story,
Yeah.
I was in
I
a
went
sex
to a sex
dungeon.
dungeon
All
one
right.
time, and it was kind of cool because I realized
As a
like,
job?
No.
Oh, I was like, is
That
it
was
a job?
He was the talent.
That was,
He was
be
the talent.
Well, I went in there and there was a lady with the boobies out.
Yeah.
I was like, hello. And then there was a guy hanging up
big?
on the yeah, it was
Chris.
really big.
Tell the story. We
There
storytellers.
was a guy hanging up in he was hanging and he was surrounded in plastic and shit. He had the plastic wrap on him. So it was just a cool time.
Wait,
And
where
there
you had the
was-
plastic
Yeah,
wrap?
what the fuck? Wait,
Where was
hang
the
on.
plastic
wrapped in plastic
Oh,
and he
like-
was hanging like in suspension and shit.
Oh, it's some real shit. Y'all was some
Yeah,
real
and then there was
shit.
somebody getting whipped and whatnot.
Oh my God.
Turn
That
up.
sounds like a
But
nightmare
it was
for
a
me.
quality place. Like it was great. I could see
What do you
why.
mean by quality? What does
Like,
that mean?
what is that?
What do you mean by that?
So it's like a haunted house, but literally a sex dungeon. You just walk around.
No,
and
but
you see this?
it's not like you would think. It's like a
Did you
bar.
engage?
It's like a bar with consent.
Huh.
There's drinks.
Wait, there's no consent at bars?
Wait,
It
I'm
depends on
confused.
how much
Yeah.
alcohol was involved.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of shit going on in
Okay,
bars.
yeah, so
But
then-
what I mean by that is, okay, let's say they had a room one time, or they just have a room, excuse me, where it's kind of open. You can go in there. They have a place for you to have sex and whatnot, and then they have a rope. So it's like if the rope is open or if the rope is up, then you can stand there and watch. But if it's down, then that means somebody can come and join.
Oh.
So it's very like consensual. Like it can happen, but
Mm.
like we're gonna give you all consent. Everything is about consent, but it's all about pain.
It's like
too.
the swinger parties.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's I don't want y'all to think of like a movie type of sex dungeon. It's really casual. I'm telling you, it's like, hello, how are you doing? It's like, it ain't dark and all this other shit. It's,
I mean,
Oh,
I think
it's not-
dungeon.
I'm thinking it's
I
gonna be
think
I know what
dungeon.
y'all
Yeah.
thinking. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like
'Cause,
a
like, you ever
gym,
you
like
ever
a
seen the
boxing
movie,
gym type of place.
50 Shades.
No. That shit, we can talk about that shit too. It was
I
with
got even better one for you than 50
Tom
Shades.
Cruise.
I got even
Tom
better.
Cruise.
The one with Tom Cruise.
I've never seen anything with Tom
Oh,
Cruise.
Eyes Wide
Eyes
Shut.
Wide
Yeah,
Shut.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Have you seen Eyes
I've
Wide
never
Shut?
seen-
Have you
Yes.
seen
He
it?
just
I
blew
mean,
right
I-
past this guy. I want to talk about he's never seen
I
Tom
remember
Cruise movie.
some
What
of
the fuck?
it. I can't.
Wait. Yeah, that
He's
is
not,
really like a
come on.
I haven't. At this point, I just gotta not do it. I've gone this long.
You've never seen Tom Cruise? That's
I've
interesting.
seen
I
some
kinda
of it.
dig
No, I know
Tom.
Tom
Like in
Cruise.
a
I've
movie,
never seen
in a
his
movie.
movies.
You've never seen his movies?
Yeah, and at this point, I feel like I'm on such a run that I can't even do it.
That's a story to tell.
Right.
That's part of your story.
Exactly. I've never seen Tom
But the
Cruise.
Eyes Wide Shut was like that's what I think of when I think of like sex dungeon.
Right.
And everyone's
That's the
wearing,
thing.
what do you call those masks where you don't
Yeah,
see?
it's not like that.
A masquerade.
Yeah,
I mean, you could, I guess.
masquerade parties.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
so
Yeah.
that's when I think of sex.
No, it's pretty cool. And I just took my
So
shirt
you
off.
just ain't
and was
niggas out here
kissing
just all
some-
wild and just bop, bop, bop. It ain't a bunch of just that.
No, it wasn't. Nobody even had sex when I was there. No, they was just getting.
So it's just a
They
dungeon.
was just getting whipped. But that's what I mean.
It wasn't
There
actually
was
a
no
consensual bar
But
that
did
you
you
had
hear
to
the
pay
things
to
that I
get
said
in?
were
It was-
happening?
It was just
Yeah.
Wrigleyville. Y'all just at the bar kicking it.
Yeah, well, the motherfuckers getting whipped. But it was like a tied day, so we would get like tied up and shit like that. So I got tied up a little bit.
And you got whipped.
I didn't get whipped.
Oh, okay.
Did you get like
But
the
no,
hot
did I
head?
get whipped? No, I think about the girl I was with. She got tased. She like they had this.
Oh,
little
damn.
taser.
Like on the nipples?
No, it was on her like sides. I was just tasing her.
Was it like
from
the-
different places? Yeah, and she,
Like the little spark?
yeah.
I've had that on my nipples before. That shit's weird.
Oh my God.
It was
But-
kind of weird.
But
was
that's
like,
what I
"Ugh."
learned. Like the whole sex dungeon is just about pain points and like how far are people willing to go and like test their pain and stuff.
Kinda
I was
like the movie
it's not even
Hostel.
about sex. It's about pain.
It's about
Was it like a
pain.
hostel?
That's what I
Like
think
a
of.
Like a movie
Hostel?
Remember the movie Hostel?
I didn't even see that.
Oh,
Oh
did you
my
see
God.
Hostel?
Is that like based on hostels? I'm familiar with it, but is that like,
Yeah.
yeah?
No, I'm saying so. Like Hostel, it was like a hotel, but
Yeah.
then
I never saw it because
it was a real
Torture,
dungeon in there.
yeah. They were getting tortured.
But I wanted to pick.
So no one's having sex, but it's a dungeon.
Nobody had sex that time I went.
But you could.
But you could if
Yeah.
you wanted to get down. Like I could have if I wanted to.
Oh, so it's still a vibe where you go in and you try to get a vibe. It ain't like your turn, your
Yeah.
turn.
No, it's
No.
not like
Oh,
no,
my turn.
Unless you want to.
What
Unless
time?
the-
You
if-
ready? You're
If
next.
the rope is down and they say let's go, then you can go.
Okay. Have you been to one where it was off and popping?
No, that was my only time going, but it was a cool experience.
Okay.
They have like some
Would
free
you do
rope
it?
ties.
Would you do it
Yeah,
again?
absolutely. I would invite people.
Would
and
you go to
everything.
the advanced version?
if I had the situation set up? I'm nasty. So.
Okay.
But I wanted to bring it back a little bit to say that in a meditative state, though, I learned that with the modeling, it's like the pain kind of becomes the thing that you meditate around.
Yeah.
Sometimes, depending on the pose. So it's like you have to always stay centered with your body. I feel like it's always a body meditation more so than anything, because you kind of learned it in different ways, but your mind can go a lot of different ways, which is kind of a beautiful part. And I like what you said, to piggyback again, because like when you're comfortable with yourself and spending time with yourself, I got to spend that 25 minutes with myself no matter what.
Regardless.
Let me appreciate what the fuck I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
I'm doing something beautiful. Like, yeah, I'm in pain, but I'm gonna do my thing, but like, let me be in my mind. And that's the meditative state that's kind of like
With
beautiful.
modeling. Yeah. No, I feel that
But
too.
I'm able to do that so much, you know what I mean?
That's
and
self-love
appreciate
for
it.
sure.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I would argue, I feel like I gotta do that shit one day, because to me that feels like the ultimate level of self. Well, other than to me meditation, or excuse me, meditation.
Yeah.
But modeling is a form of meditation. So
Yeah.
especially if you could do the nude version of it,
So you'd be like you do a figure
at
modeling.
least once, just to, if that's a fear, if that's a fear of mine, and it's kind of like the social anxiety seems like it'd be really high in that situation.
Yeah.
That's gonna have to be,
Especially if you're being
Yeah.
painted. Like
Yeah.
if they're painting
Yeah.
you, that takes hours, you
Yeah.
know? So you're
That's another thing. As
Yeah.
opposed to just photo. That's a good point.
yeah. Because mine is just literally pose, hold it, move around, do your thing. And like I think
How
I'm,
long
like,
do they take on average?
well, depending on how many concepts we have in one day, it could go like 3-4 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't like doing that much anymore because it's just too much time consuming,
Right, right.
So I like keep it like maybe 2 looks for a set, but
2 looks for a set.
yeah.
How
So,
long
like-
what's the increment breakdown if you have any? Like, how does that work?
Anytime, it's just whenever.
Okay.
Whenever I feel like it. If I
Okay.
feel uncomfortable, as in like if
No, I
the
mean, like
pose
the
is-
time brace is like, okay, we're gonna do this many or this amount of time with it, or is it? how
No,
does
it just
flow?
I guess it just depends on, what we can get
Okay.
in that look. So
Okay.
it's not really ever set.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you like being the one in control of the ideas, or do you?
Not
Because
that I
sometimes the
like-
photographers like know shit that we might not know.
Right. And I feel bad sometimes because I overstep that boundary. And I don't mean to, and they know that, but I know a lot of the photographers that I work
As a
with.
matter of fact, I remember that during
Yeah,
our
what is
shit.
Oh
My
No,
bad,
no,
Kai.
no,
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
What is
remember that.
that?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe we should do. He's like, I'm the photographer. I'm like, I'm so sorry, Kai.
But I remember he embraced it.
He
That
did.
was like,
funny,
no,
that was
no.
funny.
He was
That's
like, no,
funny.
no, you do your thing. And I was like,
That was
all
funny.
right,
That was
I'm
funny.
sorry.
You
I
can't
just,
be a
in my
habit.
mind, I was picturing things.
So you definitely overstepped that boundary a lot.
I have, no, but then I do.
You're like,
I
you're like a
realize-
diva.
I'm not a diva.
You're a diva.
I am not a diva. I am not a
Man,
diva.
Tyler, she's a diva.
She doesn't seem like it. I mean,
do I
when
look
I
like
get
a
in,
diva?
when it sounds like
She's like,
Yeah.
I need water.
No,
No,
not
it's okay.
even. Not even.
No, I
no.
mean,
It's too hot. I need time.
I don't think you'd been told this yet, but I do video production stuff. And
Yeah.
so we'll be shooting with people and like we have clients all the time. They're like, how about this? And you're like, how about not? Like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about,
Yep.
basically. And I think with the photographer, it's like, they have done their stuff, but like, you.
Right.
And at some point, like, they just want dope stuff and you want stuff that like you really care about because you are like the subject of these photos.
Yeah.
So I think it's like reasonable for you to be like,
to like kind of.
listen, like, let me do this. Like, I don't know if you're paying, if they're paying, or what the arrangement is, but it's like, yeah, I think that's not
Like,
like a
at the end of
bad
the
thing
day,
for you to be like,
No.
let's do it like this because this is kind of what I want, And
But
trust
see,
me,
I have a not necessarily argument, but I just have another viewpoint on that, because the guy who literally takes thousands of photos of different people versus the 20 or so photo shoots you've done
Yeah.
with no more. We talk about this, like the professional would probably have more of an understanding than us. So
Right.
where's the balance of trusting that this professional knows versus what you want?
That's true. That's
So like
the hard, yeah.
where is that? So like even you
well, again, I just said pretty much that like as the professional in certain scenarios, like people will be like, oh, I think like this should be cool. And you're like, shut up. You don't know what you're talking
You don't know
about.
anything.
But what if
Yeah.
they
Don't raise your
insist? How
voice.
do you handle that as a business person?
I will humor them to humor them, but I have never had somebody like push hard enough because
to get their way.
yeah,
Yeah.
because most people don't like
Because they trust the
genuinely care.
professional.
Yeah,
Right,
like
okay.
if people are like, "Oh, can we
Put a
shoot it
trap
maybe
right there.
here?" and it's like, "Listen, I just don't think this is gonna like look good for this reason, and this reason," and they're like, "Okay." You know, I've never had someone that's
Especially,
been like,
and I would argue, do you think it's more
get the
so
tree,
when
though.
it's a more
Yeah.
legit project too? So like we coming to you, you're not. This ain't just your buddy's crib. Like you have a legit thing going on here. So
Yeah.
if you're going to invest in something high quality, you would trust that those people would know what the hell they're doing.
yeah, and which
Right.
99% of people do.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, they're like, yeah, let you handle it. But then even then, it's like people will still like sometimes want to like look at the monitor and be like, let me see the angle. And you're like,
Really?
"It's
Yeah.
good, fam. Trust me. Well, and I get it. It's like you're paying money and it's like part of the experience. And I get it. Like, cause
I never
I
even finagle with your shit.
Colton can probably relate that like I'll sometimes I'll look over his shoulder and check the
You're a
angles on-
micromanager.
I don't know if I'm a micromanager.
Man, Tom,
But hey, you gotta dot your
Tom.
I's and cross your
Boots
T's.
are
You gotta I think
He's staying
do
quiet.
I do that a little bit? Yeah.
He's just like, don't
Nah,
listen to me.
He's like, oh fuck, don't let's not
I
talk
know.
about
Can
this.
I type real quick
Can
and
we
look
please
at the
not talk about
monitor?
this?
After this anyway.
Yes,
I'll
crap.
talk to you about this.
He doesn't know I'm quitting.
He's happy, guys. Come on.
Fuck him. No. Okay, so as a person who creates content, there
Don't
is
quit,
something
don't quit,
about
don't quit.
not wanting to give up
That's funny.
Control.
the creative control
Right.
ultimately because you have your vision, right?
Yeah.
And this is me and Derek. We talked about this. Even if you're not necessarily, you can still be the owner of the story, even if you're not the one doing every single aspect of it.
Oh yeah.
And
I agree.
That's something I'm having to learn to do.
As people are starting to help you with your content, right?
Right, because then, like for instance, I had one guy that was doing my editing before, and we talked about this on the pod, but him and I weren't on the same level about what I
Envision.
envisioned.
Mhm.
To say it nicely,
Mhm.
to say it nicely, we had different visions.
Yes.
But I also think that there was and it was a cultural difference too.
Oh yeah.
And then there was also an issue with like the small things, but that to me I take serious, like captions, right? So his English was not his first language.
Oh okay.
So he would make these captions, and my whole thing was to let it go, right? That was what we were working
Let
on.
go of control.
Let it go full control, and then I'll let it. But then like I'm like, oh, he should have done this, he should have done this, and then like I don't want to be that guy, so I want to be like this cool guy, like. But then I had to learn like, no, this is your shit that you're paying for, and they're getting paid.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, it got to the point where I just did it myself because I knew I would put more energy in my thing
Right.
than somebody else would naturally. But then you have to pay someone
To do that.
Yeah, like if you want that real energy, you got to pay somebody real money to do it. You know what I'm saying? Just like for instance, like this podcast, when I had my setup just at the house, it was the value for the amount of energy that was put in. It was solid, but it was one man. It wasn't, I had to deal with that. Whereas this one, there's more energy put into it. It's a better product. So I don't know,
Yet you missed him being like, I think you need to put a camera over here earlier. It's like,
only because, and the only reason why for your other
I'm
guests
just
too,
playing.
is at least
I want to hear your ideas.
So-
I'm happy to include them.
And the only reason why is because I just watch podcasts all day. So and I have
And you
my own,
see,
and I want to have a phenomenal podcast.
I ever wanted to be phenomenal.
And you know what I'm saying? And we're kind of working together on that because I need to make sure the reels bring the podcast studio in the best light while also bringing the podcast that you're also a part of in the best light. And when I'm learning, I'm
What is
learning
it?
about like
Right?
Go.
I'm learning
Close to the
about
mic.
hook points.
Hook points.
Hook points. So like the attention span nowadays is so short.
Yeah.
And you got like, especially when people are when you're swiping, it's like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Because think about how many times you're quick. You have to have something that like gets you that sparks your intrigue, But then you have to almost understand like human psychology a little bit.
Oh yeah.
In order to grow the social media game.
And especially your audience, right? With your audience and your content, you have to figure out what will spike their attention. I mean, with me, I show a picture of me naked. They're like, oh, let me look at that. So I already know that's what's engaging it. And that's not my point. My point is to show my art, but that's what catches everybody's attention, or men at least.
Everybody's.
Everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No,
Oh yeah.
everybody
Everybody's. Yeah.
knows.
That's
And
true.
I bet you
Yeah,
women are the
trust
most
me.
critical of your shit.
Oh, all the time. Yeah.
Why y'all so critical? Here's the thing about the ladies. Y'all have like this sweet, like,
We're so nice.
oh, we're dandelions and flowers. But then y'all motherfuckers is savage.
With each other?
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like all the
I guess-
slut shaming comes from women. I don't see here too many dudes like sluts.
Dudes like sluts. Yeah.
I mean, real talk. Like,
Yeah. No, I agree.
So
Me
and
too.
I feel, but I will say this though, ladies are really good from what I've noticed in my experiences. Publicly, y'all give each other a lot of love.
Yeah.
Because like if you post a picture, you'll see like phenomenal comments
From women. Yes.
You'll never see like how often do you see hateful comments publicly from women?
Hardly ever.
Like never.
No. Yeah, never.
If anybody's gonna say something, it's gonna be some idiot dude, probably, right?
Right. Yeah.
Do you feel like the positive comments from women are like 100% genuine in the sense? Because like I'm not gonna throw individuals under the bus, but there are women in my life where like behind closed doors, they're like, oh my God, this chick looks so fat during her pregnancy.
didn't
So
like
like
that
on
shit?
the picture, they'll be like, oh my God, you look
You're
great.
so beautiful.
I
Yeah.
know.
So, like,
they're fucked up.
It's like an artificial, just like hyping people. Do you ever feel that way? Like,
Oh,
do you have people in
shit.
the comments that are like, maybe not obviously competitors, but like maybe people at a similar line of work, whatever, and like, oh my God, you look so great. And and then they're like probably in the back of their mind just being like, this bitch, she looks so good here. God
Actually,
damn it, I hate her.
I think the comments that I get from the women that actually comment are genuine. I feel like the ones that are haters wouldn't even comment, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah.
I
They
think
wouldn't even comment. It would just be rumors and shit that they would say behind my
But
back.
I think what
but
he's saying,
is
I've also seen girls
do that.
like something of a girl's and literally talking
shit about them. Yeah.
So I feel like publicly, y'all really stick with each other pretty strong. Like women get together very well.
Mhm.
And you kind of maybe had to over the years. You have to like kind of learn your way through this. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like you guys do great, especially publicly.
Mhm.
But I do think behind closed doors,
Mhm.
I hear women talking the most shit about women.
I think women just like to gossip in general. That's just how they are. Whether it's men.
Why do you gossip?
Gossip girl.
Why do we talk? Well, we talk because we're all about feelings. You know that. Like everything that triggers us is our feelings. And so we have to vent to somebody, right? I mean, you have to just choose your audience, I guess, when it comes to
What
your
if you had a
friends.
guy that was venting to you about all of his feelings? How would you feel about that?
That'd be I actually
Like
like that.
24/7. You
Oh,
woke up like
24/7.
he wakes up like, oh, I feel so good. I just woke up.
No, that'd be
Lunchtime.
a
Oh,
little
this
overwhelming.
food is-
That'd be a little overwhelming for me. I'd be like, all right,
oh,
dude.
I'm breathing. It feels so good.
You need
Is this guy on
to find
shrooms, by the
another
way?
friend.
I'm about to go to sleep. Oh, I feel so good. Or man, like
all these.
I gotta really use a dump right now. I gotta take a dump. Please, I don't know.
Like, you
He's
need
on
to
That'd be
find
too
somebody
much.
else.
He's
Yeah.
on shrooms.
What's
Just a
a
little
good
too much.
percentage of feelings versus not feeling? Like, would you rather have a stoic guy? So like, what would you consider stoicism?
Is that something I know? I don't know that. No,
You know?
No, I'm just saying Colton over here, but I'm just kidding.
Can I
Stoic
Google
is very
Stoic
just
is very just like
composed,
Composed,
even
yeah.
keel.
not gonna get too high, too low.
Just stay in the middle, like
So
fucking
just like a
robot.
monotone type of
Fucking
like,
robot.
yeah. No,
Nothing bothers me.
no, I don't like that. I don't like that.
So would you rather have that or a guy who's too emotional?
Extreme.
You had to pick
Oh
one
my
of the
God.
extremes.
One of the extremes.
but
You
That
gotta
I
pick
can't.
one of the extremes.
Oh my god.
I feel
don't
like
even-
he's talked about this stuff
Yeah.
before.
I
I know.
know.
I just want to see her answer though.
I have no idea. Like I like.
They're both horrible.
They are both horrible. I do. Men don't share their feelings enough. So of course I'd want to get a guy that shares their feelings, but I don't want them to be too robot-y or monotone, you know?
But you also don't want them to, yeah, or you don't want them to
It
overshare
doesn't
either.
have to go with monotone,
It
right?
might-
It's
well,
just-
yeah, it doesn't
It
have
kinda
to.
does,
It
though.
does, yeah.
let me ask you
Does,
this: what do you think is the number one most attractive thing in a man?
In a man?
What's the number one quality?
A quality in a man is a quality that I want them to have.
Yeah, your opinion. Oh, is that different from what you believe society? That's interesting.
Yeah, it is different because I feel like guys
Okay,
that
all
have
right, this is-
goals are definitely something that's very attractive. You know, that's something that attracts me. But to me, like trust is very important for me. So to be able to even trust the guy, that's a quality that is
So
important.
for you personally, which one is the highest?
Trust.
Okay.
Trust.
But number two is ambition.
Ambition, definitely.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
Trust and ambition, baby.
Trust, ambition.
Yeah, those definitely. I always say, to me, in my opinion, from what in my experiences,
yeah.
it's ambition, and then close second. What I've noticed from girls is a close second to honesty.
But that comes with trust, right?
Well, yeah, trust not. Was that two
Trust-
different things? Is trust and honesty two different things?
Well, no, but I'm saying is that like
Yeah,
if a
I'd say-
person's honest,
It's two different things.
You can
trust
trust
them.
the
So-
fuck out of
Trust
someone
them.
and they could not be honest.
yeah. Do you know what I'm saying?
Say that again.
So
you
in
could
order,
trust the fuck out of someone and they could not be honest.
You could just trust
Have
that they're
you
not
seen
honest.
a Hollywood movie, bro?
No,
How
what-
the villains
no.
they come around.
No, not their trust. Like, is that how that works? Where they be trustworthy?
But trust.
What is trustworthy?
I think they're
Wait,
linked
wait,
to
wait,
some
let's
degree
slow
in the
down.
sense that
They
like
are
if you break
related.
one,
Okay, they
you're
are
gonna
close.
have issues with the other.
Yeah, because like I
maybe.
want to trust like would be like not only just being faithful, but also being able to trust you that I feel safe with you. You know that you're being honest. So the trust.
What does
has
it
a
mean to
huge-
be safe?
I think
safe? Is to feel protected because it's a man's
Like
job.
physically?
Physically, mentally, emotionally, for me to be able to be safe to come to you and say, this is how I'm feeling right now, and not for you to degrade me, belittle me for how I'm feeling. That's something that's important, I think, to share your feelings. And guys should do that too. I think that's something that men should start to not be afraid of doing, not overshare, of course, but
Yeah, because there's a fine line.
there is a fine
I
line
don't
where
feel
you
like
have to.
there's a fine. Man, we need to
They
start
got a girl
sharing.
saying that there's
No,
a fine
because
line.
there's but you've never even experienced a man that's
That's
been
been-
overly emotional,
yeah.
like on some real shit.
Wait,
So
wait, but
because
wait,
men are
hold on,
most
hold on.
likely
Wait.
men are most likely gonna not be that emotional.
Exactly.
So it's not gonna be.
Hold on. You telling me
Because
you've
they
had an
didn't-
emotional guy
No, I'm saying I haven't had it to that point.
to
that
extreme
extent.
level, but have
Yeah.
you had a guy that was too emotional for you?
Yeah. I mean, when I was younger, but not,
Not like
as an
how old
adult.
were you?
Like teens.
So in your last 5 years of life, you haven't come across a guy who was too emotional.
Which you were 5 years from teenage years, I'm sure, right?
5 years in I mean, my last relationship,
boy.
my long-term relationship, there was an extent where he would be emotional when we would fight, but it went both ways. Do you know what I'm saying? So I can't say that he was oversharing. It was just because of whatever was going
the
on.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fair enough.
But I've never been
Okay.
in a relationship where a guy's overly emotional where I can't handle it.
Should've let my baby go. What's up?
Is there a level where being
Been singing
I was
today.
being
do
emotional.
you
I
sometimes
would've
try
let my
to
baby
do
go.
you like to express your emotions all the time?
No. I maybe when I was younger, but as
You can
know,
curb them more now.
yeah, I can curb them more now. And you learn after every experience, after every relationship you've been in. I mean, I'm hoping you're learning, right? Yeah. So
Which is a lot of motherfuckers not learning though. They go to the same
there's
shit.
not. That's the thing. And that's why I stayed single a whole year after.
A whole year?
Not single. I mean, like I wasn't dating. Like I
Chris,
didn't
what's
want
the
to date
longest
anybody.
Yeah, I hear you.
I didn't want to go out on dates because
Right.
I needed to really figure
so
out
for a year.
for a year.
Was it
I
2020?
didn't go on a
That
date.
doesn't count.
Nothing.
That
I did
doesn't
not go on
count.
a
You
date.
didn't have a friend come through.
No,
say, "What's
I
good?"
did not. I swear.
you
know,
know,
People look at me and they're like, "Really?" I'm like, "I swear I
A
didn't."
full year.
A full year.
Alright.
I swear I did not. And
Not
I was,
even what about that one you said you would never tell nobody?
what are you talking
What about that one?
What are you
No one will
talking
ever
about?
know that one.
What
I
are you
don't think
talking
that-
about?
I feel like a lot of girls got that one dude that they would never
No.
admit.
I promise I did not. And it
Right.
was just something because I was running into the same situation with every guy. And I'm like, what is going on? Why am I
too.
attracting these type of people, these type of
Mm.
men? And I think
Is
it
that
comes
because a girl don't know what she wants her vagina does?
no,
It's not that? Okay.
It's not that. But honestly, like I just didn't know why I was attracting that. So I needed time to really think about that.
Right.
No.
And I could piggyback. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm on a current no sex in the champagne room streak myself.
All right.
So,
See?
baby, I'm on the
I
black
get
hand side
it.
of that.
See?
On the black hand
I'm on
side.
the black hand side with that. So, but because of the same reasons, I
Yeah.
kept running into the same type of situations, and I just had to start reconnecting my energy to really people who value me. So really, I
Exactly.
spend my time with my boys, my mama, my family,
Yeah.
my brother. Like I try to connect and build with people who I can understand and see that you're really worth my energy.
Right.
Mm.
And I had to really, because a lot of times when I was out here dating,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, you're picking up different small energies from different people and you're seeing what's out there. But a lot of times the shit is just half-assed.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I just need some time to really power up on this energy.
And you figure out what you want and
Exactly.
what your standards are.
Because it's so concentrated.
Yeah.
It's so concentrated because I had a girl approach me. We took her out on a date and whatnot.
Did she actually model nude?
Yeah, she knew I knew model and whatnot.
Yeah.
Oh. No, then did she ask you to?
Did she ask me to? Oh, that's why your ass got big like that. I was like,
Yeah. Everyone just asking D the new model.
That'd be like the
Dope.
easiest pickup line, yeah. I'd be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, yo, let's go back to your place and I'll paint you.
Can't
I'll
pay shit.
draw you." You know, like, that's
She doing
what.
stick figures.
How hard would that be? You know, you're gonna smash. It's like you'd be that kid. Some Titanic shit, real quick.
right.
I would imagine there's running rampant in that field.
No, it's
Niggas
chill,
ain't
man.
just-
Like it's
I mean,
kinda,
you see a nigga, you think somebody you think look good, and you're like, "Hey, what's good?"
no, it
Because
ain't like that, but
apparently
this
it
ain't
is
porn.
not like
not
that,
porn.
dude.
It's not
not.
porn. This is art. Well, that's art too, but this
Yeah.
is
Yeah, because
this is
even like
fine art,
porn
excuse
isn't
me.
porn.
Yeah. It's
Porn
not.
If that
art,
makes
bro.
sense.
I love
Porn is-
watching porn. Porn's
it's
my
not-
shit.
Porn's not.
You know,
yeah.
I stopped watching porn like
Shit.
4.
It is. I watch this shit like a TV show.
I legit.
Like an episode.
There's some shit you're gonna just like clip from 20 years later, and your
I'm
grandpa,
gonna love it. I got
your
goals
grandkids,
before
you're gonna
that.
show them this and just be
Oh,
like,
yeah,
oh,
Bonobos is
God.
a reason. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. Yeah, no, I gave up porn like 4 years ago.
Uh-huh.
You
personally.
gave it up.
Damn.
Swear to God.
Why did you give it up?
I gave it up because it was one of the most, in my personal, from my mindset, is the most disciplined thing you could do, because I believe men are moved more often than not by their sexual urges. And I think that if you can, the two things that are the hardest to control is eating
Mhm.
and your sexual urges,
Mhm.
based on my studies.
Yeah.
So what I was trying, and the eating one, I'm having a real battle with.
Yeah, and I get it.
And,
I mean,
and I still lost 175 pounds. So you know what I'm saying? But I have
Yeah.
a real battle with that.
mhm.
But then there's also the fucking
Your sexual desires.
sexual desire. You know,
Yeah.
as a guy, you see a big pair of tits, you want to fuck them.
Yeah.
And you definitely want to release. I'm serious. That's the truth. I mean, and that doesn't
Don't
make
put the
somebody
camera
bad.
on
That's
me,
just what.
Colton.
That's how men
That's
are.
how programmed.
That's
Yeah.
how men are programmed.
So let me ask you this. So if you, so I know men are programmed this way, but would you ruin a connection with somebody just to go ahead and have sex with another woman? Do you know what I mean? Like, is
I
your
think that comes
mind?
with maturity.
That comes with maturity.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's a
Maturity
whole level of people that do that.
All the time. Yeah. So
Like
now,
at those sex dungeons, D be going to.
I went to one time, but I would definitely go with
It's
it.
like
Well,
sex
this wasn't a
dungeon
sex
over
dungeon.
there.
This was just like a swanky, weird bar.
Oh,
There was
right,
no
right.
sex being
Exactly.
had.
They're just
it was
people
just a
that-
bar. It was somebody's crib.
It was something where you had to pay a cover and they didn't serve alcohol.
Yeah,
right? And it
was
was
there a
like,
band?
what?
Was
Yeah.
there
a
no
band?
band? Those
There's
motherfuckers
no
hanging
band.
up with
9
black-
inch
How many
nails.
people were just chilling in like the sides? Like, what was it? Like, there's nothing to see if no one's having sex. It's just like
I
you just had a
know.
weird party. Like,
They
what
said it
was
you went to a
this?
party, nigga?
And you're like, it's so cool. It's like you didn't see people
The
do it,
person who
dude.
held
What
it
the
was just had
Hey,
artwork
open
on
was
the.
Thursday or Tuesday. I
It's
don't
not
know what the
Thursday.
fuck. It wasn't
Nobody was
popping that
ready.
night.
But it was introduced to you as a sex dungeon. It wasn't
Yeah.
something you were like, oh damn, this is a sex dungeon.
Nigga, if ain't nobody in here I know or anybody I ever know have been to a sex dungeon. I went to a fucking sex dungeon.
My point is,
You ain't
based on
never
what-
been to some shit like this, is what I'm telling
based
you.
on what I'm
Have you
you're
ever seen a
telling me,
nigga getting just hung on with plastic ever?
maybe that's not necessarily a sex dungeon. Was there dicks out?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
I don't
Okay,
wanna-
that's-
we covered this
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
I don't
we
wanna-
have.
I was just making a quick
We
joke about the
revisited
sex
this already.
I was
dungeon.
a
Let's
little
move on.
confused. Yeah.
All right, but actually, I want to hear it because you were yelling at her as just like, well, maybe you lied in that year that you were abstinent,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like 4 years of
Yeah.
no porn. You're telling
I
me
swear to God.
Christmas Eve occasionally
Swear
you
to
don't
God.
just bust out something.
And let me tell you
Some
why. it
anime,
started.
some hentai
Nope.
stuff,
I
some
did all that in
some
the past.
magazines. You just
I've
catch
done
something
all
out
that
of the
shit.
corner of your eye.
Yeah.
You see
Hey, I
something
was-
on Twitter and you're like,
Listen,
show content. You know, like you see the extra level. You're telling me never.
in about four something years, swear to God,
Haven't
on my
seen a
mother's
nipple.
grave. No, I've seen it. I just don't watch it. Like
Okay.
actively. Like if I scroll
Well, hang
or
on,
something.
because see now we're starting to get murky. It's
I have
like,
not come to porn in 4 years.
Okay, I didn't need that level.
That's what I'm saying.
But
That's the
damn,
truth.
all
And
right.
I swear to God. and
So you just mental, huh? You just in the head.
well, a few reasons
Why
why
are you running out of material?
I
Like,
know,
what
No,
are-
seriously.
there's a few. First of all, you can't run out of material nowadays.
Nah, it's
well,
galore.
apparently you can if you don't watch anything.
No, but it was an active choice though. It wasn't like I ran out of porn. I didn't watch all the
So
porn.
you just like generating
I
stuff
saw
in your
every pair of
head.
big tits ever.
Are you just like generating it, or do you like hold
That's what
on
I
to
love
old
about porn,
memories?
by the way. Like when you go through, it's funny because when you go through the realms of porn, people have different like pages and shit of their liked content, so favorites. So you can go into other people's pages and see,
See what they like.
Oh,
And it's
you
so
get-
interesting
You be
to
reading
see
the
what
comments and shit.
Yo, you're like
Sometimes, yeah, I
creeping
do.
in the.
It's funny. It's funny. Oh my god,
You
you're
digging on-
You actually
digging
read
on
the comments?
Pornhub.
Absolutely,
No
it's funny as
shot.
shit.
Do you add to the comments?
No, I never. I've never been a comment adder. I don't know why, but
Yeah, he'll
no,
like
it's-
hunt through people's like.
It's very
like
interesting
section.
to see people's sex preference because, like, you
Yeah.
keep talking about big tits, but my shit is just full of asses.
No, I like. Well, hold on.
but no.
first of all, I like
What
that
I'm
too.
saying is,
I love.
what I'm
ass.
saying is, people got like fists, just straight.
Oh yeah,
That's their
hardcore shit.
catalog,
Yeah.
and there's thousands of people
Or
who
like or
that shit.
feet pics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
That's
don't
your
ever see
thing.
feet pics.
No,
Wait,
I
is
see
that
come on?
is that cool for you?
No. I mean, I
What
would-
level
I
of
mean,
sexual content is eligible?
No. So I'm telling you, for me, here's a couple reasons. Number one, it destroys, in my opinion, regular sex, because if I'm sitting there
You-
clicking on
Yeah.
my thing, which at the time was
Nobody asked. Nobody asked.
I like big booty, big
Bitches,
booty,
all right, yeah. Like everyone
with
else.
glasses.
With glasses?
Oh, the intelligent
Yeah,
one.
with glasses.
That's a big booty.
One, this could be kind of weird. I clicked on braces once. And I was
What?
like, I don't know.
I've never done that.
I was like, oh, braces is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, glasses and
MILFs,
all right.
that was the thing for one. I like MILFs. MILFs was good.
Colton, we'll give you the mic.
then, like,
What are you into?
Oh my god.
And then sometimes you get lost in some realms.
I've got lost.
Yeah.
before.
Some deeper.
Yeah, no, I can see
What's
that.
the deepest realm you've gotten lost
Okay,
into?
all right.
Um,
Don't make people do this. Don't make this a
Well,
round
no,
table.
if
If
you
you want to
want
answer
to.
that,
I
go
actually
ahead.
You don't have to answer. You
I
don't have to.
I don't watch porn like that. I mean, I have a few times, but not like.
Are you
meant to.
just are you like a very vivid porn watcher deep down?
No, I'm not. I really am not. I'm shy.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
No. So it
Good.
improved my regular experiences.
With sex.
Yes, I swear to
Yes.
God, because I wasn't going to this craziness every time.
And you weren't expecting sex to be like porn, right?
and
Yeah.
then it went
See,
down
and
a
that's
lot
my
for me.
Yeah.
difference because my sex is like porn because I watch it and it's like it's a performance.
Colton, keep it
Yeah,
together.
it'd be like a camera. You like
It
a pretend
is, I swear
camera.
to God, we
But that's not even the
mirrors
gr-
and shit. Like,
But my point
it's
is,
fun. Like,
when you
sex
gotta
is
hit-
an art,
Sex is-
man.
yeah,
Like, you
no,
guys supposed
it
to be-
is.
And I feel like
Hold
when you're doing
on.
porn, it's a job. I've done like a scene before with a girl, and it's like it's literally not. It's not as sexy as you think it is. It's kind of like work.
It is work.
Right,
Yeah.
but it's like an art that you're doing this shit to. So when I'm having sex, it kind of like feels artistic. But I'm just.
But
very
my point
artistic
is
minded.
when you're watching porn, they're fucking in an angle where it's best for the camera.
Yeah, at times. At
Which-
times, but it depends on the category.
Right.
How do we
Because you
get
got
off
some
on
amateurs,
This
nigga.
is
They
like-
ain't got all that.
I've clicked on amateur. I like
I had a
amateur.
day for amateurs.
Yeah, I don't want you.
You're
to-
like an
From
old
what I
person.
can
Like back in
remember.
my day, you haven't watched
like
it in
4
4
years
years.
ago,
No, but I-
you
I
can't even
used to watch
comment.
it.
I don't
I
want
know.
to hear about
I
it.
used to click
Your
on-
information's outdated. Come on.
Yeah, that's true. That's that
You don't
is
even
fair.
know.
I'm outdated. They probably got like 3D. They got like metaverse
yeah.
porn now.
Oh yeah,
Almost.
bro. It's all super high tech, bro.
Oh, they got
Everything's in 1080p.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you,
The
VR. Oh,
they
they have
still had
VR.
360
Yeah, I
when
can't
you
click on
were
it.
watching
I was still
porn
on-
back in the
They got the
90s.
VR that can
I was doing
use.
VHSs back in my
Yeah.
Yeah.
back in my day.
My granddad had Looney Tunes.
Looney, what?
I saw Bugs Bunny getting.
Oh yeah, or
They
like
have
Marge
that?
Simpson. Yeah,
Okay.
What?
yeah, it's a real thing.
So do you feel like now your sexual experiences have gotten better since you stopped watching?
trillion%. Not even remotely close. And I feel like not to be too vicious, but I go a little longer because I'm not as excited because I'm thinking about the porn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I just think there's a lot of dopamine. They've proven this through science
Mhm.
that when you're watching that, no, they've done studies and they've read brains that your dopamine is like through the roof when you're watching porn.
Yeah.
So and then if you're constantly doing it, your dopamine is constantly in that situation. So me, who I am, trying to control my dopamine receptors is more often than not.
Mhm.
That was one of the biggest things that I could personally do. And I think a lot of
Right.
dudes, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, if you can control that, what else can you control? Because
Yeah.
ultimately what I'm trying to do is control myself at all aspects. Because to me, that's what it means to be like alpha.
Mhm.
And you can be alpha female too, just the person who's in the most control. And that's my opinion, that's my experiences. If you are in control of the situation, that's like the most cool alpha shit you can do in my
Oh yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
The guy who has the most control. Well, we're coming to the end here. Where can they find you?
Find me on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram _Marie, MARIE, period, Francis,
Hey.
FRANCES. I think it's a period, right? And
Oh,
then
see,
underscore.
That is a
Period.
bar.
Yeah,
I don't even know
Period.
my
I was like,
Instagram
yeah, you
name.
said that shit, girl.
yeah, you
D,
can find-
where can they find you?
You can find me at prettycoolstorytellers.com. And also I have Pretty Cool Maps. That's going to be my store coming out pretty soon. We're going to be selling some good products on there, but prettycoolstorytellers.com.
Tom, where can they find you, sir?
I feel like I want to start changing it up every week. Just like have
Just to
different
fuck it up so
aliases.
no one
It just-
knows?
Exactly. Yeah. But you can find us at
Hey.
Chicago Podcast Studio, baby.
Okay.
Nice.
You can find me on all things Chris Cares None. You can find me at caresnone.com.
You won't find him on Pornhub. Tell you that.
No, you won't find me on
He doesn't
Pornhub.
have an account. He
Oh,
does
no, I
not
probably could.
comment.
I bet you that's an audience shit. I
He
should.
That is
won't
an
be
audience.
there.
I should. You know what? I'm gonna consider it. I'm gonna be on Pornhub.
There's
But,
none.
well, because like, yeah, I mean, why not?
Hey, I
Just
got
don't
some new
watch
ones for you,
it.
too.
Just post it and don't watch it. See
So
if
do I
something
gotta
shows-
make the
You got to
actual
put
films?
parental mode on. It'll be fine. You know.
Yeah, just put the
No, I'm
Just
thinking about
use it.
actually like doing the porn.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good luck. Good luck,
Rock
champ.
steady, baby. Rock steady.
Yeah.
Now you can find me at caresnone.com, and this is a great episode, you guys. Thank you.
Love it.
You'll come back again.
I will. You know,
We still got to make some content too.
I know.
Not like.
Not like
that.
that.
Gotta clarify.
Not like that.
Yeah, but like some reels and shit. I think that'd be
Yeah,
dope
we
as
could
hell.
do that.
And then hopefully your people can see my people, us, and then vice versa. So.
I need to get a little bit more active on Instagram. Sorry, guys.
I haven't been on it either.
I know.
Yeah, don't you don't love your people?
I do love my people, but my kids are like keeping me busy right now. So
Would you consider making posts that weren't always related to the modeling?
so I
Because
like
people might like to see you.
I know, but that's what my stories are for. I keep my stories about me. So if you want to see who I am, it's in my stories. Other than that,
So you won't put who you are on the.
No,
I can
just
understand
people-
with
get it.
like a
Professional?
profile that you have, you don't want like a picture of you and your kids.
I
right
do have a
next.
picture. No, so the pictures of me and my kids that are on my Instagram are professional photos.
Okay,
you
well
know.
then yeah.
Yeah. But
So
other
Also,
than
still,
that,
it's probably like-
professional.
yeah. Basically.
That's good.
Because I'm
Yeah.
thinking nowadays, when I'm learning, and I know we'll end it, my bad, but
Yeah,
what
like,
I'm learning is what sells people now more than ever is knowing the
person.
The person.
Yeah.
So you'll see, especially in TikTok started, but now people like get into the brand. They want to invest into the person
Yeah.
that's running the brand a lot of times. You can have a faceless brand, that obviously,
Yeah.
but a new way, especially if you put yourself out there as a face, I think that it could actually improve your engagement if they knew more about you.
About me.
You don't gotta tell them all the craziness,
I
but just
know,
more
I
like,
know,
oh,
I
today
know.
I had a Starbucks, one
I
of
know.
them kind of things.
I don't know if I could be that social influencer that's like, hey guys. You know what I
You
mean? Like,
can
I
do it?
can't do that. Like, you do that. I can't do
Hell
that. I'd be
yeah.
like,
That's why I say that.
today.
that's your TikTok.
Yeah, that's your thing.
thing.
I can't do that. I'd be like, all right, I don't know. Is this long enough? I don't know. You know?
Is that because you think that you look foolish, or you just have nothing to say, which is hooked up too?
No, I always have something to say, but I just don't
Don't be
know if
yelling
I
at
feel
people that don't wanna
comfortable.
do
You know,
that,
me
alright?
recording myself like that.
No.
Yeah.
I get it. But she still is an influencer, so to speak.
Yeah.
She's got more followers than me.
That's what I'm saying. Right. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you're doing it. You're just not necessarily doing the live.
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
not. Maybe someday.
Yeah. I think your personality it would clearly work because you're bubbly as hell. It would work. So.
Thanks. Is that a good thing?
Bubbly?
Yeah, and to be honest, I think everybody, in my personal opinion, everyone has that. Maybe they don't desire to be on the camera for whatever reason, but who they are is worthy of being seen because they have a story to tell.
Oh yeah.
Don't matter
definitely.
who the fuck you are and what your situation. Even if you're just a lame who goes in the house and you just you eat Doritos and drink Mountain Dew and play games all day. That's still a story that's other people would relate to.
Yeah.
So you would still gain people who would fuck with you based on whatever it is that you're into.
doing. Yeah.
So that's the reason not to be yelling at people, but if you put yourself out there already, I think that's how you can really get them is by being a little telling your story. And if you're willing to have the courage to tell the shit that ain't necessarily great all the time,
Mhm.
that's even more fucked up because they're looking at your perfect pictures
Oh
that
yeah.
are professionally made and thinking the absolute best, but then they see your shit and they're like, no, she goes through real shit like the rest of us.
Yeah.
They'll actually relate to you more.
Yeah. I agree.
Because she's human too. Damn, it makes me feel comfortable because I'm not perfect.
I agree.
So I just think that you can consider that one day.
Alright.
And all of us, everybody.
I mean, I have tried that on Patreon, which didn't last very long because I couldn't do all the editing.
Oh.
I was like, "There's no time. I'm working. I
Hire
have."
somebody.
I
was
know.
about to
That's
say.
why you hire somebody. I mean,
Fiverr.
Real
yeah.
talk.
Fiverr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's more
Especially
accessible.
you because you have influence. You need to start like
I do.
implementing,
I have a lot of
hiring
good
That's
people.
what I'm
stories.
saying.
Start
Yeah.
managing yourself. You turn yourself into an entity. You aren't just
You have an
you're an
audience,
entity.
young lady. You have to
I
believe
know,
it.
guys.
No,
I
but
know
Get your
that.
life together. Come
Yeah,
on.
I
step
know.
Step your game up.
I'm trying. I just
God damn
can't
it.
be like the mom at the football games and this at the same time. So I'm
What
like
if
really.
you added that?
He's on my stories.
would
He's
make it-
amazing.
That
Oh
would
my
make
God,
it. That'd be like your niche. Like
I
I'm a
know.
football mom who also models. No,
That's your story.
it could be
It's your
anything.
little
Yeah.
story.
That's true.
So.
Yeah.
uh,
Anyways.
Yeah, we'll talk next time. Make sure you come back.
I will.
And as always, cares not.
There's no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was a great episode.
Was that fine? Oh,
Thank you for
going on.
doing that.
Yeah.
Cheers.